Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna do a chatty video. I feel like I've not done one of these for a really long time. I've done loads of like cooking and routine videos, but I haven't filmed like a sit down video. And if I'm honest, I've wanted to film this video for such a long time, but because I work and this for me is only a hobby, I feel a bit strange putting really personal things on the internet because I don't know, I feel like if this was like a full-time thing for me I wouldn't mind so much, but it's obviously a big deal putting things on the internet that are really close to you. I'm gonna have a cup of tea, I'm gonna chat to you, it's gonna be really informal. So today I want to just talk about trying to conceive, and in particular when you've got long or irregular cycles. So I'm gonna give you some background to our trying to conceive story. And we got married, and after getting married I decided that I wanted children, and if you've watched previous videos you'll know that having children is not something that was always top of my agenda. I wanted a career first, but after being married I really wanted children and I was ready for them, so we started trying. And I'm one of 8, so I assumed, being one of 8 and having lots of nieces and nephews, that it would be easy. I thought literally like within the first month we would be pregnant, and that didn't happen for us. So I was on contraception for a really long time. I had the pill, I had the implant, and then I went back to the pill. I stopped taking the pill, and I think my periods sort of returned around 2 months after stopping taking the pill. So we started trying, and within the first month I was doing pregnancy tests and we weren't pregnant. So I was just like, well, you know, it's only the first month, it's fine. Second month swung by and we still weren't pregnant. So at this point I was kind of like, oh well, you know, I thought it'd be like really quick just in comparison to family, but it wasn't. And my cycles were really long, so and really irregular too. I would go such a long time between periods. Sometimes it would be over 50 days, sometimes it would be 40 days, sometimes it would be 70 days. It was just really random. I started to do a little bit of research about becoming pregnant because I didn't really read that much. I was just like, okay, yeah, look, you know, try for a baby, everyone knows how you try for a baby. But I started to read about when you're most fertile, when you're ovulating, and lots of different things, which it's a minefield. It's really overwhelming, but also really interesting. So you're most fertile when you're ovulating, and if you're on a normal 28-day cycle, then usually that's, I think, oh gosh, I don't actually know, I've not looked into this for such a long time, but I think it's normally around day 14, so halfway through, that you're ovulating. Now for someone that has irregular or long cycles, that rule does not apply. I tried to work out when I may be ovulating, but it was really difficult, so I decided to download some apps, and I can't remember every single one I had. I will link them below though because they were really good. I had one called Kindara, I think that's what it's called, or Kindara, and that was really good. So you'd put in the days that you were on your period and then obviously your next period, and it would try to give you some type of pattern. Yeah, so I was trying to work out when I was ovulating, and again it was just so hard because I didn't really know and I was getting really down about it. By I think month 4 I was doing so many pregnancy tests and just feeling really upset about it. I didn't want to buy ovulation tests because I would be spending a fortune, because I'd be testing pretty much for like 40 days to try and find out when I was ovulating. So I went to the doctors because I was just getting so upset about it. I was spending a fortune on pregnancy tests. I was probably doing my husband's head in, telling him that we needed to try to conceive on particular days. Like, it's just not romantic, is it? So I decided to go to the doctors, and they told me that they wouldn't normally test unless you'd been trying for a year, because on average it takes a year to get pregnant. But because they knew that I had really irregular long cycles, and because I was quite clearly upset about it, they agreed to test for me. And what they were testing for were hormones to see that I could ovulate and then to see if I was ovulating. So they did the first blood test and that came back within a week to say that I had the right hormone to help ovulate. I can't remember what it was called, but I had that hormone, so that was like amazing and I was so happy. And then they did the second blood test to see if I was ovulating, and I struggled with this one because I just kind of thought they picked a random day. I think they picked day 35 of my cycle just as a guess, so I kind of thought, well, this could come back either way. It could come back that I am or not, because it may not be the right ovulation day. And then I was like anxiously waiting for this to come back. I remember this like it was yesterday. So I was at work, which was a really stupid time to do it, and I called them and they said they would call me back, so they did within like 10-15 minutes. I raced out of the office and it was the doctor, and she basically said that I wasn't ovulating, or at the time that they were testing I wasn't ovulating, so what they would have to do is test again when they think I was ovulating next time. And I was like, okay, fine. I got off the phone and I was so upset because I knew that I would then have to wait another 50 days, another like 2 months for them to test again, and it was unlikely that I was going to be ovulating on the next test because who knows if they had the right ovulation day. Went back into work. I felt so upset. It was pretty much time to go anyway, so I just left because I thought I can't concentrate. I felt really upset about it and I went home. Now at this point we'd been trying for 6 months, and I know to some people that is no time at all, like absolutely no time at all, but when you're going through it, it honestly felt like years. Like it felt like forever because it absorbed me. It would be all that I would think about every single day. I was thinking to myself, can I not have children? There was a million things going through my head, and I really struggled. And I know some people try for years and years and years, and I can't even imagine how hard that must be. And then I decided that I had one pregnancy test left and I was saving it. I was saving it for that moment that I thought we were going to be pregnant and I was going to be so excited to get the pregnancy test out, and I was saving it because I'd gone through so many at this point. I thought, sod it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the pregnancy test. I'm not going to be pregnant anyway. I feel miserable. I feel down. I'm just going to do this test. I've had enough. I got the test. I peed on it. I put it on the side. I got back on the bed. Felt sorry for myself a bit more. And I didn't even check it because I was like, I'm not going to be pregnant, am I? I'm not ovulating, so, you know, maybe I can't ovulate, maybe that is the problem. And then it got to about 10 minutes and I thought I would look and I could see a line, and I can't even tell you, I can't explain that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. It was the faintest line I think I have ever seen in my entire life. I was on, like I said, I was on lots of forums before, and I used to see people putting up these pregnancy tests and it barely looked like anything was there, but everyone was like, no, there's a line and there's no such thing as a false positive, and if there's a line it does mean you've got some hormones, so you must be pregnant. And I was like, I cried. I just didn't know what to do with myself. And then before getting pregnant, I dreamt about how I would tell Joe. I used to think about it all the time, and what I wanted to do was like have a little card, post it through the door, like address it to Joe, post it through the door, and then open it and it was going to be like, you're going to be a daddy. I had all these like lovely little ideas about how to tell people, and it definitely was not like that. What happened was Joe got home from work. I walked down the stairs crying. I looked like absolute shite. I had mascara all down my face. I had this like wee soaked pregnancy test. I didn't even get to the bottom of the stairs and Joe could hear me crying. He walked around the corner. He was like, what's the matter? And I was like, I'm pregnant. So that's how I told him, and he saw the line and was like, I don't really see anything. And then what I did was I carried on doing pregnancy tests, and the line just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. The reason the line was so faint was because I tested when I was 3.5 weeks pregnant, so I wasn't even 4 weeks pregnant, so the hormones weren't that strong at that point. I left it a couple of weeks I was like testing pretty much all the time. I had so many pregnancy tests. That was me after the telephone call from the doctor saying you're not ovulating, and me thinking the worst, to then me going home and finding out I was pregnant. So I just wanted to share that story with you, because if you are trying to have a baby and you're finding it difficult, or you do have long or regular cycles, it is possible to have babies. You may not be showing that you're ovulating, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not ovulating. They may be testing on the wrong day. And for me, when I was trying, if I could find a video like this, someone sharing their story, I would have found it so reassuring that having long and irregular cycles doesn't mean that you can't have a baby in a short period of time, because really 6 months isn't that long. Link all of the apps and everything I used below, and some of the websites, and although, like I said, it is easy to become totally absorbed by them and almost a little bit obsessed, I also did find it a good outlet, because at the time I wasn't that interactive with my Instagram. I didn't really have anyone to talk to because I felt like I was crazy. I think in this situation it's just nice to know that you're not alone, and there are hundreds, millions of women going through exactly the same thing. One thing I would say is, because I didn't know the day that I was ovulating, I found it hard to then tie in when we were trying. So what we did, and how I fell pregnant, was we tried every single day for, I want to say 10 days. We were exhausted. We did try every single day for about 10 days, and that was the month that we got pregnant. I don't know how I feel about putting this up on the internet, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to help other people. Please thumbs up this video and subscribe to see more from us, and I will see you soon. Bye!